Strange happening in reality. What is reality? I'm beginning to think that we are immersed in multiple parallel dimensions. And sometimes, just sometimes, these dimensions merge into one another. You be the judge of this strange happening in reality. I nearly met myself. This happened about 2 months ago, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. After stumbling across these glitch in the matrix videos that keep showing up on YouTube, I thought I'd share my story with you all. I've got no explanation. Maybe one of you does. I need to know if anyone else has ever experienced something like this. I work a pretty boring 9-to-5 job in a mid-sized office building. Every day, I go to the same coffee shop across the street around 2 p.m. for a caffeine fix. I'm such a regular that the barista, Sam, automatically starts making my coffee as soon as he sees me in line. On this particular day, I left my office a little later than usual, around 2:15. When I reached the door in the lobby, I realized I left my key card on my desk on the other side of the building. But this was no problem. The secretary, Sarah, signed me out on paper. This happens all the time. As I crossed the street and approached the coffee shop, I saw myself. Me, wearing the same clothes, same bag, same everything, standing at the counter inside, chatting with Sam. I froze. My heart was racing, but my brain was like, no, you're only imagining this. Maybe it's someone who just looks like you. But then this other me turned slightly, and I got a perfect look at their face. It was my face. It was me. Down to the tiny birthmark I have under my eye. It was me. Understandably, I panicked. I turned around and walked back across the street without even going inside. My hands were shaking. I kept telling myself it wasn't real, that I must have been overtired or something. But here's the thing. When I got back to my desk and looked in my bag, the coffee cup was there. The exact same coffee I was planning to order, with my name written on it in Sam's handwriting. I never went into the shop. I never bought the coffee. But there it was, hot and fresh, like I just picked it up. I looked up at the clock, and the time was still 2:15, the usual time I get back after heading over and grabbing my coffee. But I definitely been outside for longer than a minute. It was like my timeline diverged. One version of me had split away at 2 p.m. and gone to grab the coffee, while I had stayed behind. And then, when returning to the building, our timelines had merged again. Even scarier than this thought was which one I had been at the time. Was I the original me, or was I some kind of duplicate for that time? I spent the rest of my workday just feeling off about the whole thing. I didn't even drink the coffee. It got me wondering about the stories of shapeshifters or doppelgangers I've heard in the past. And I had to wonder if this is where some of these stories come from. Maybe 2 timelines split or converge, and you can be in 2 places at once for a short time. I wonder how many times this sort of thing happens without noticing. I haven't told anyone at work because, let's be real, they would think I'm crazy. But the secretary at the office does remember me heading out, and she also remembers me forgetting my key card. But she says it happened at 2, and it even says on the log where she signed me out. I've gone back to the coffee shop since, and everything's been normal. Though weirdly enough, Sam didn't even remember me coming. The next day, when I went to grab my coffee, he asked if I had been sick the day before. So, if he never gave me a coffee that day, where did the coffee in my bag come from? Some parallel universe that collided with this one for a split second? How can him and Sarah remember things so differently? Which one of these is even real? I don't know, but I still have the cup. I wrote on it in red marker, "This came from nowhere." It's in my kitchen cupboard now. I keep checking on it just to remind myself that I didn't imagine the whole thing. What the hell happened? Any ideas?